What's going on, YouTube? It's James of ChiHammer's Fantasy Battle Report. Got another battle report for you today. It's finally here. It's the ETC Novi 2019 round number 1. Guys, God, I'm so excited to get you these 6 battle reports. These games are really intense for me, really fun for me. And it all starts with this guy right here, Tim's game. Tim is from Norway. I'll go over that in a second. And it ends with Pascal from Belgium. And these games are going to be a fucking riot, all right? So I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to jump back and forth here, but I'm going to try to do this where you're getting an understanding of where my team mentality is and how my individual game is going, okay? Really quick, here's a picture of the outside of the arena, or not arena, the Mastar Center, and this is the walk I would take every morning to get into the arena itself, or the venue itself. Last year was an arena, this year was a venue. And then here's the inside of it, and basically this is just the beginning. This is right when they're about to call the captain's meeting. I explained this in my last video, but for those of you who didn't watch my ESC games, basically here is the captain's meeting with Leggy, Johannes, and Darko, and then Johannes' girlfriend. But basically they're explaining to us all the rules. The rules are basically all the tables are labeled. They have all the terrain on the tables already. But if the terrain has been shifted, the captain's duty was to make sure it's all in the right place. Not many people knew that, actually. But not only that, there's actually a little dot on the table which it shows is the center point of whatever the item was, or the terrain was that was supposed to be there. So you could always just kind of look, see where the center it was, and just put the thing right back there. Not many people trusted that. Many people just kind of remeasured it themselves. Whatever. He also said that you cannot text your teammates in any means possible. So there's no group chats, there's no text messages between your own teammates. It's basically your game versus their game, and if you get caught texting somebody, you get a 0 on your score right away. And this is everybody's response, like, what? Whoa. Anyways, so there was other things said, basically can't get caught cheating, whatever, which I don't think anybody was cheating. I hope not. Last year there was, or not last year, but the year in Spain, there was a really funny one showing us that somebody had a dice with an extra pip on the 4, so they had 2 5s, which I found fucking hilarious. Anyways, here is our spreadsheet that Lucas has made us. Lucas is our coach this year. He's one of my better players, but he didn't know if he was going to be able to play or not this year, so he ended up just saying, put him in reserves, put him as a coach, which was awesome because I have never had a coach that was so insightful as I did with Lucas. Lucas was awesome. Super Orco, for those of you guys who know him, is Super Orco. Anyways, we're playing Norway. Round 1. Now, first off, I'm going to go back with a throwback picture here. This is Norway in 2017. We played them in Spain. They underestimated us. They had Hermanard and Halvard in their team, on their team that year. And they totally underestimated us. They totally thought it was going to be an easy win. They're the veterans. We're the rookies. We're supposed to lose big. And we kicked their ass that year. We almost capped them. I think we did cap them. If not, we were like at 96 points. So this year, they came with a little bit more like, we're not underestimating you. Not only that, but they have Bobanik with them. Bobanik is their coach. But they really came with a strong lineup. They came with really good players and really good armies. So it was really kind of like, oh shit, what are we gonna do, guys? You know, and it was a thing. I personally looked over their lists so many fucking times before I even got to the event. I knew who I wanted to fight who. Alright? Based on our matrix, based on their lists, based on a lot of things. So this is one of those scenarios where it's just like, okay, who's gonna fight who? Now, first off, right here, this is a picture of Joseph. This is Joseph on my team getting ready to play his game. And the day before, Joseph, when I was playing my Switzerland game for practice, Joseph was like, I still need more practice too. So he came with me and he played Switzerland's Undying Dynasties guy. And he got rocked. And now one of the questions was, who on our team could take out Undying Dynasties. That was one of our weak points. We didn't really have a chosen person who could just handle Undying Dynasties. So we were all assuming that maybe Joseph can, because he has a lot of flaming, he has a multiple wound guy, he has all these things that could just kind of fuck him up. So we had Joseph play Switzerland's Undying Dynasty round 1, pre-ETC I should say, and he lost. But he goes, you know what? Now I know I have a better understanding of how to handle it. So go ahead and give him to me. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Or that's who I wanted to play, and obviously you can see here that he's playing Undying Dynasties. All right. So what we did, without showing you my matrix, was one of the players who had the best matches, like he had potentially all greens and yellow matches, was our Sylvan Elf player, Pablo. So I threw out Pablo, and the one red match Pablo had, I believe, was like, it wasn't vampires. What was it? They didn't have vampires, did they? I think it was Infernal Dwarfs. I think that's it, because it's Sylvan Elves, and their Infernal Dwarf was their only pyro army, basically, right? Well, coincidentally, and I think this is really smart by Carl Eric, I caught on to it after the fact. They threw down the Infernal Dwarf player, which I already knew, okay, that's coming, right? But they threw down their Sylvan Elf player for a mirror match. At first, I was like, my initial gut reaction was they're going to throw down their Sylvan Elf player because he sees something we don't. He's going to be able to beat Pablo, or Pablo's going to be able to beat him. Or it might just be a 10-10, right? But when I came to the conclusion that Carl Eric did, or Sigborn, whoever picked the armies, I think it was Sigborn, right? Was they threw down the Sylvan Elf player because their Sylvan Elf player looked at all our lists and was like, shit, they have pyromancy, and he wants to get away from all the pyromancy. I think exactly that's why they did what they did. We gave them the mirror match. We were like, fuck it. They gave us Undying Dynasties. We threw down Joseph, and I forgot who else we threw down, but we were actually thinking like Joseph should be able to try to play this game better and see how he does, whatever, right? So that was the first pick. Second pick, they go ahead and they throw down, I want to say they threw down their beasts. They might have threw down their Vermin Swarm. I think they threw down their Vermin Swarm. I threw down myself. So you guys know, I don't really save myself as like a, like, oh, I got to get the best matches. No, I threw down myself. They gave me Beast Herds and Infernal Dwarves. I have Pyromancy, and that's it. I don't have Essence of the Free Mind or whatever, so I was like, fuck the Infernal Dwarves, I'll take the Beast. So I'm getting Beast Herds. I'm playing Tim. That's the game we're going to go ahead and play today. They threw down Vermin Swarm. We threw down, it looks like he's playing Charlie, but I forgot who the other guy is that we threw down. They picked Charlie, which is our... No, that's not Charlie. That's not Charlie. Which one's the Orcs and Goblins? I think the Orcs and Goblins is the next one. I think that's Titty. I think they picked Titty. No, Titty's that one. That would be Euron? That might be Euron. I didn't have cards made for everybody specifically this year. These were the cards I made for the first year. So it looks like, let me just look at who did Euron play. That just sum it up for me. Yeah, Euron played their Vermin Swarm. Now, oh yeah, that's right. That's totally right. It was Vermin Swarm versus Vermin Swarm. That one's going to be another story I'm going to get to after I get through the matchup process. And these videos might be a little longer than normal. I'm sorry, but actually I think it's good content. It's good to know. And then right in the center, that item that's in the center, that's my painting trophy. I put it there to make sure I made a point. Not only that, something I did, and I'm saying it right now in these videos, is I constantly sat on the table on the south side looking north, alright? And the reason I did that, everybody's like, why do you keep picking this side? I go, because I want to look at the tables and I want to go that way. And it's a sales technique, and I'm visualizing my success going that way. My teammates thought I was fucking crazy. Anyways, they throw down their Orcs and Goblins player. They threw down their Infernal Dwarf player. We threw down Charlie. They gave us Orcs and Goblins, and they gave us probably like Warriors or something like that. We denied the Warriors. We ended up taking Charlie versus their Orcs and Goblins. Charlie's one of my better players. Probably one of the best players I have besides Titty. And Charlie, at ESC last year was like in the top 3. The ESC the year before was in the top 3. So he's really fucking good. So their Orcs and Goblins player was the top 3 last year in ESC, or in ETC. I'm sorry, ETC. He was a fucking stud. I know he's a good player. I know he's a really, really, really good veteran player. He is actually my rival this whole tournament on trying to go for the best Orcs and Goblins player. So I'm very aware of where Johan is placing, or Jorund is placing. Johan's the other guy. He's the Ogre Con player. But I'm very aware of where Jorund is the whole tournament. So anyways, we ended up picking out Infernal Dwarves versus our Ogre Con player, Alan. They ended up picking out we ended up picking Charlie for the Orcs and Goblins, which forces the last 2 to kind of go based on who you picked or didn't pick. So Titty ended up getting their Ogre Con player, and Neil ended up getting the Warriors of the Dark God player, which is the Sigborn, the guy I played in the ESC. All right, let's go over our list real quick. Real quick, we have Tim here. Tim's on the left. You can see under Beast Herds, Tim Turbo. I'm going to just pull up my list so it's a little bit bigger than the one I can see right here. But, there we go. That's New Zealand. Whoops. All right. Beast Herds. So he has a Beast Lord general on a chariot, right? Let's see. I'll just go through the pictures really quick. You can see this. You can pause this if you want to look at his list. But over here, he has a giant unit of mongrels, 45 of them. They have the Banner of the Wild Herd, so it basically gives them +1 strength. I'm not really too worried about them because they're mongrels. They're not like a horde of wild horns or a horde of longhorns. It's just mongrels. So I'm not too worried about them. I rated this as a green match. I rated this as a 13 for myself. And in all fairness, most of my guys rated either a yellow or above. Nobody actually got a red match on that first round, or we didn't assume it was a red match, I should say, in that first round. I think that we have different opinions after the game, of course. But let me go ahead and see. I have it somewhere up on my page. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, here we go. And if you guys hear all those noises from trucks outside, I'm really sorry. They're doing construction outside, and it's just really ugh. All right, so in Norway, we actually had one red match, which was Alan. Alan put his down as a red match. I remember exactly what happened. We had the choice of Titty and Charlie getting who they wanted, where Alan would have to soak up that Infernal Dwarf. If not, Titty or Charlie would have to fight the Infernal Dwarf. I gave Alan the choice. I told Alan, if you take the Infernal Dwarf off of everybody's hands, we have a good chance that Charlie and Titty will win their games. If we don't, we have a chance that you're going to get one of these other guys who might still be a hard match for you, and Charlie and Titty might have a harder match now. And he took it like a champ. He's like, I'm going to take it. If it makes it better for the team, I'll take it for the team, which I thought Alan did great. I thought Alan did wonderful this tournament, by the way. It's the right mentality to have. Anyways, he has 2 raiding chariots. He has a BSB on a chariot. He has 3 giants with barrels. He has 2 units of mongrel, or hounds, whatever they're called. The freaking, I have the page open right here. They are, yeah, feral hounds. Okay. He has 3 units of centaurs. I was actually worried about the 3 units of centaurs the most because they ambush. All 3 of them ambush. Which we're playing flag scenario, and I think he was more afraid of his units not coming out as ambushers and losing those points. So he didn't ambush any of them except for 1. They do have little differences, as you can see on the list. One of them has throwing weapons with paired weapons. The other one has 6. One has 5. The other one doesn't have throwing weapons. It just has ambush. All right. He has his general on a chariot with, like I said, he has the Razor Tusk chariot. He has the Beast Axe, Pillager Icon, Death Cheater, and Eye of Dominance. The Eye of Dominance, I want to say that's the item that makes my beasts hit him on 6, which that sucks for me. Obviously, like I said, he has the centaurs, chariots, mongrel hordes, all that. Okay. And then he has a Master of Evocation, which I found this was the best part for my list. This is why I rated it a green match, just because he doesn't have Druidism. He's not bringing his shit back to life. And even though it's Evocation, even though it can kill easily my characters, there's going to be other things for him to worry about, and my pyro should be able to just start picking wounds. Anyways, that's how it goes. As you can see, this is what we had down. Like I said, this is exactly what we had down. We had Alan down for a 5 or 6 game. We had Charlie down for 15, me for a 13, Joseph for a 14, Euron for a 10. We'll talk about Euron now. Neil for a 12, Pablo for a 10, just because it was a Sylvan Elf versus Sylvan Elf, and then Titty only put himself down for a 12. Now, right at the beginning of the game, I'm loading my stuff up, all right, and Euron walks up to me, and Euron goes, and I'm going to just spill this story out right now. Sorry, Euron. He goes, James, should I shake my opponent's hand for a 10-10? I said, Euron, what the fuck? I go, what do you have on the Matrix? He goes, I have him for a 10-10. I go, why? And he goes, because. He goes, his army beats mine. I go, why does his army beat? You're fucking both rats. Why does his army beat yours? And he goes, he has better stuff than me on his side. And I go, so what? He goes, James, I'm going to lose if I play it. And I go, just play it, man. Play your game. And he goes, I'm going to lose if I play it. I go, Euron, don't fucking shake his hand for a 10-10. Tell him you want a 13-7. And you'll shake his hand. And he goes, he denies it. Of course he'll deny it. And I go, then play the fucking game. And Euron comes back to me and he goes, no. He said, I'll shake his hand, or he'll shake my hand if he gets a 13 and I get a 7. And I go, Euron, don't you fucking come back to me and tell me you shook his hand. I want you to play your fucking game, Euron. And I'm swear to God, this is the exact conversation we had. And Euron's like, he's like, all right, fine, I'll play. You know, he's like, but if I lose, you know it was a bad match. I go, and I look at him straight in the face, and I go, Euron, come here. I'm going to pull him to the side. Nobody can hear him. And you say this to him. And I said, Euron, I played you, and I played him. All right? I've lost to him, by the way. The rat player. I played him on UB. But I looked them in the face, and I told him, Euron, you're a better player than him. Play your game. Okay? That game we'll get back to at the end of this round. Okay, guys. So anyways, here's Tim. This is the only picture I could find of Tim that wasn't like on his Facebook and looking creeperish, that I took it off his Facebook. For some reason, I didn't take a picture of Tim. Tim's the guy with the glasses in the back standing up. All right. Let's go over more or less the deployment. Let's go over everything. It's a flag scenario, which actually, no matter what, that's why I threw myself out pretty confidently on the second toss out, was because flag scenario, it's really hard for people to get my flags, and it's easier for me to get their flags. So I find it is like my dominant scenario. All right. For Magic, there's all his Evo spells plus his totems, of course. And basically that's how he deployed. I believe I got first turn, so I deployed everything. And I want to say it was Classic Battle Line. I think I'm table 1. Yeah, I'm table 1, so it's Classic Battle Line, Front Line Clash. What I ended up doing is I ended up doing a very similar style of deployment that I've been doing on Universal Battle, which is the spider next to the forest goblins. They kind of protect each other. That's exactly what they do, and you'll see it in this game. They kind of protect each other, because some things the spider can handle, and some things the goblins can handle, but sometimes they can't handle the same things, so they kind of protect each other. Squigs on the middle, I really don't care about the squigs. I put the Spear Chucker there, which is actually my opponent. I am not shitting you. Switched where his giants were 3 or 4 times. So I split it up where I had the K-Pack on the right side and Koopa on the left side. The K-Pack on the right side allows me to give a huge charge range. If his giants walk up, I will fucking crush a giant. I'm just telling you right now with the K-Pack. So I think he saw that, so he moved to the left side, and he basically came up with this strategy to overpower my Koopa with all these giants, right? And then I put my guys in the center, basically. All my core units that are the flags are in the center, and I'm just going to be able to hold the center like that, more or less. As you can see, my dog's Vanguard up on the right side. Now, going back to this picture right here, sorry. Basically, the right side's kind of empty because of the terrain, so I just put the K-Pack on the right side just so he doesn't pop something up on the right side. His ambushers, he only has 1 unit ambushing, which is also the unit that's like kind of in the center of the field right now. So besides that, I really don't care about the ambushers. because it's only one unit. If it was all 3 units, I think it would be a bigger issue, me personally. But we did do deployment a little while. We don't finish all 6 rounds of this game, unfortunately. Not saying that it was slow play, but it was a lot of thoughtful play going on both sides. So we don't get to the full 6 turns of this game. So anyways, for Vanguards, and this is one of the reasons why the game took really long, by the way. For Vanguards, almost everything in this guy's army Vanguards. So he uses these little movement or these little empty bases to plot out where exactly he wants his guys. He's trying to freaking visualize every fucking step, and it takes so long to get through. And again, I think it's a smart play on him. I don't know where he finished overall on Tourney Keeper. I'm gonna try to find it really quick. Let's see. But it just took way too long. Control fine. Tim. Let's see. No, it's Belarus's Tim. Let's see. Close that. Tim. Scotland. Norway. We'll get to that later. Anyways. Let's go into turn 1. Orcs and Goblins. Orcs and Goblins, turn 1. ChiHammer, turn 1. As you can see, this is how... No, did he take first turn? No, it's my first turn. Yeah, ChiHammer, turn 1. So as you can see, he vanguarded his giant right up in front of my grill. I don't get it. He did this on both sides, might I add. He had the centaurs on the right side, the giant on the left side, kind of like, are you going to charge me or not? Well, Koopa's on a fucking hill. And I started thinking about it, and I was just kind of like, you know what? It's fucking King Koopa. He doesn't give a fuck. Koopa's charging right into that giant. I don't care if it's a trap. I don't care. It's fucking Koopa, man. The K-Pack on the right side is going to charge into these centaurs. Not really sure what his idea was on these centaurs. I really don't know what he was going for on these centaurs, but I'm like, that's just a dead centaur unit. And I go ahead, boom, boom, get in both. All right, now, Koopa is obviously in a trap. We know this, okay? He has it where both giants are looking at him. The centaurs are looking at him. It's a lot of strength, a lot of power coming at Koopa, right? But part of the strategy here is having the goblins protect Koopa, okay? And just setting up my counters to this, all right? So magic happens, right? And I try to freaking kill the dogs. I try to kill everything else, right? What ends up happening here, though, is I fail all my pyromancy spells, right? The only spell I get off is reroll to hit on this guy. So that's going to be a dead giant. I'm just telling you right now, that's going to be a dead giant. Shooting. My squad ends up shooting into the chariot. These are just raiding chariots. Does a wound. Over here, the K-Pack, boom! Rams the shit out of these centaurs. I ram the living shit off these centaurs. It causes a panic on the mongrels. Or the hounds, excuse me. The hounds run. Now, he did it wrong the first time. He runs straight up, you know, but I'm like, no. It's center to center from the closest unit. This is the K-Pack's closest unit. You're running it in diagonal. So he runs in a diagonal all the way over here. Now, there's a unit of mongrels that's here. This is a misplay for the record. I am clarifying it now. This was a misplay on my opponent's part. Not that I know. I don't play beasts. But he had a unit of 45 mongrels here who failed the panic check on the dogs. Now, the dogs are actually insignificant. They shouldn't have ran. I thought mongrels were insignificant too. I remember back in the day they used to be. So I was just like, oh shit, they're running too. So he fucking runs them off the table, and it changes the game right here. Changes the game. Start freaking turn 1, K-Pack just fucking caused a massive panic, killed centaurs, panicked hounds, got rid of a whole unit of 45 mongrels. Holy shit. Alright. Over here. God damn, Koopa. Koopa, you bastard. Oh my god. Koopa, I roll him. Poison. I roll Peggy, or not Peggy, I'm sorry, Chicken Head. And the Space Rock, Chicken Rock. And it was like poison, multi-wound or poison, boom. I'm like, your giant's dead, bro. That was like 10 wounds. He's like, what? I'm like, I got rerolls to hit, man. That was just insane. Now I kill him, and I'm like, all right, let's be fair. If I Overrun, what's the worst that could happen? I could probably get out of line of sight of one of the giants. So I was like, fuck it, I'll overrun. I overrun 11, and it gets me out of line of sight of both giants. Only thing that sees Koopa is the centaurs. He's like, come on. He planned it on the Vanguard stage for like 20 minutes. But he did not plan that Koopa was going to be such a fast, fat fuck. He was not planning how nimble Koopa's like, is. Oh my god. And basically that's how the table looks on turn 1. Oh my god. It's going to start off turn 1. Beast Herds turn 1. As you can see, he doesn't even have line of sight on Koopa. So he's starting to plot where he's going to go. He ends up charging into my K-Pack. Now this was a mistake on my part. We basically played it the way I intended it, which was I was hiding the goblins behind the hill because the hill is so wide with the actual terrain. But once we moved the terrain, we saw that the hill was skinnier. I obviously could hide the wolf riders behind the hill with much more, even though once we removed the terrain, he could see it. So we played it where he couldn't see the wolves. All right, but he's going to charge my K-Pack. K-Pack flees, ends up running through the wolves, runs too far, runs through the terrain, ends up losing one part of the K-Pack to the terrain. Okay, which is fine. K-Pack did its job. K-Pack did its job, right? He ends up charging here, one of the giants into the squigs, and he ends up charging the raiding chariot into the squigs. Alright, this raiding chariot is a pain in the ass, by the way, this specific one. Alright, the other raiding chariot walks in front of my orc units, basically chaff me. Alright, so that's what ends up happening here, right? His other giant's coming to threaten my commandos, which could be a big issue. Magic, he ends up getting looks like a 2 on the flux, excuse me. I'm learning them. 2 on the flux, goes ahead and he does a Blackwing Totem on his general to give his general extra charge range. And then that's about it. I think most of the magic really didn't matter. Over here, he ends up throwing a fucking barrel into my goblins. Oh my god, that thing was devastating. 3, 6, 7, 8 goblins down. 8 fucking commandos. I think that is such a cool item. I don't know why I don't see it more often, but it auto hits. What the fuck? They don't panic. Of course they don't panic because they have the banner of discipline. Over here, close combat impact hits, kills off 2 squigs. Squigs go into the giant. They end up doing 4 wounds onto the giant. They only do like a wound or 2 to the chariot. And they end up losing combat. Even though I believe I was steadfast, didn't really matter. Boom! They blow up. Now when they blow up, they end up taking out a savage orc. They end up taking a couple wounds onto my spear chucka. But they end up also wounding that chariot another wound. And they end up wounding the giant a couple more wounds. Not bad. I mean, it's a decent trade, I guess. Turn 2! Orcs and goblins. And guys, I'm giving you a 3-second warning on a 3, 2, 1. Wog! My Wog! Charging here, and obviously my black orc's gonna fuck up this chariot that's just in my way. Whatever. Boom. Alright, he messed up. He thought I would be able to close the door, but actually I could overrun straight. And if I overrun like a 9 or a 10, I could get right into those mongrels. So I set it up. This is a far picture here. But I set it up where my dogs are chaffing his chariots. And if I overrun and get in, the black orcs could get in just straight into the mongrels, and the chariots can't help. If I don't, I just lose my dogs, and my black orcs will be there no matter what. Unfortunately, the savages couldn't see shit. So the savages couldn't get past the chariot anyways. So savages just turn around to face the giant. My squad is going to face the giant, just shooting wounds into him. This is what I was talking about. My spider ends up getting in the way of his giant, so that way the giant couldn't get... Could have done this differently. I think it's because I didn't want to double giant charge into my savages. And there goes a shy ambulance, guys. I end up using my relentless banner on my forest goblins. They took heavy casualties from one of the giants, but they walked away. They passed a march check. They walk away past his giant, facing the chariot. The problem is that chariot. Like I said, that was a problem chariot. It kills the spear chucker this turn, and they'll be able to turn around and charge into my goblins no matter where they are. The one other way I could have went was probably behind the hill, which that was a possibility. I didn't really see that till right now, to be honest. but I basically put them all the way over here. They're in a safe spot. They're a little far from his general, but that chariot could still turn around and get a decent charge and still get in. It's going to be pretty tough, maybe. All right. Magic end up getting a pyroclastic flow, and I throw it into his centaurs that popped up on the side here. End up doing about 4 wounds to them, causes a panic. That one ends up running off the table. And then I end up doing a scorching salvo, and it ends up doing like a wound or 2 to the giants, but that's about it. Nothing else really got hit hard with it. Go ahead and I do bring the pain on this guy, so if he wants to charge it into my spider, he kind of knows what's going to happen. Over here, I'm going to start shooting these guys, the squad, into the giant. Ends up leaving the giant there with 1 wound remaining. All right. Over here, close combat, my black orcs just destroy that chariot. And I overrun, but I overrun like 7, and I just fail from getting into that mongrel unit. If I would have got into that mongrel unit now, that would pretty much been kill him on his turn, turn myself around, do whatever I want to do on his turn, and it probably would have been a 20-0 there, but that was a failed charge, so I just end up like an inch away from my dogs. Over here, he kills my chariot, he sees what I was scared of, and he turns it around straight at my forest goblins, and it's only like a 14, so he could get that charge pretty easy. He's going to start off his turn. Beast Herd's turn 2. Beast Herd's turn 2. He charges his general into the spider, right? Again, with his little base trays, I get it, but like, it's a little excessive. It's just a little excessive. It's just a little much. So he puts it down. I'm like, all right, we understand that's where your general's going, and he kept on putting it back, and I was like, dude, we know he's going to go there, but he's doing it on purpose. He's planning his attacks, right? Charges his BSB into the dogs, get rid of the dogs. He contemplated charging the... his mongrels can't charge. His mongrels... Here's the interesting thing. His mongrels could charge the dogs, and I would have to close, and then he could have just overrun into my black orcs and charged his shaman into the flank of my black orcs. Don't think it really would have mattered, to be honest. I really don't think so, but he might have lost that combat anyways. But it would have been on his terms. He probably could have just done like a spectral blades or some shit. Alright. Charges here into my fucking goblins. I stand and shoot. I do like another wound. He only has 1 wound remaining. Alright? But it's pretty fucking bad. I mean, it's pretty fucking bad he's going to get in. This general gets in. Boom, right there. Okay. Can't do anything about that. That's what's going to happen. It's going to hit Koopa's ass. It's actually a kind of cool picture of Koopa. Anyways, that's how it looks on the table. His mongrels don't go anywhere. His other ambushes pop up on the left side. Magic. He got a 4 on the flux. Goes ahead and he does hasten the hour. Does a wound onto my general, 2 wounds onto everybody else. And then basically he throws a barrel into my savages. Only kills off 2 savages. Over here, close combat. His impact hits does like 6 wounds. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. I mean, after like the 8 wounds from his giant, the 6 wounds here, I'm down to like just a handful of forest goblins left. My BSB goes, and I roll the dice. He only gets 3 attacks, and it's like poison, poison. Oh my god! Oh my god! Holy shit! It was only 1 poison. It was only 1 fucking poison. Oh my god! My BSB fucking punked that chariot. Oh my god! Holy crap! That was a close one. Holy crap, that was a close one. Okay, over here his fucking ambushes popped up. Or I don't even think these are ambushes. I think these are just guys who ran off the side because that was turn 1. The fucking spider ran by them. So he just ran this way, and now he's threatening my spear chucker. So my spear chucker's going to shoot, by the way. Oh, no. It's his turn. He goes ahead and he throws the tomahawks, kills off 2 wounds onto the spear chucker. Over here, close combat. He does 0 fucking wounds with his impact hits. 0. His lord misses. His fucking guys miss. His razor tusk misses. He wins by a charge and a rear. And I failed to wound him because he has like a fucking 1-up rerollable or some shit like that, or a 1-up 4-up. I failed to wound him. Alright? But I stick there on a stubborn 8. And my BSB's right there, and I turn around. It's going to start off my turn. Orcs and Goblins turn 3. Orcs and Goblins turn 3. So I charge in here with my savages into his giant. Now he's scared that he fucked this one up. He's so scared that he fucked this one up that if I turn, because it's a front charge on the giant, that I'll overrun into his general, which obviously I would understand why he's scared. Because he's going to have a charge flank, big flank, 2 ranks, banner, all that jazz, right? Anyways, especially since he did 0 wounds onto Koopa. But the truth is, I don't. I can't. I'll skim right by his general, so he's lucky in that sense. Alright, Magic got an 8 on the flux. Go ahead and I do an enveloping embers. And thinking back about this now, I should have just probably done what my final plan here was now, but it didn't matter. Go ahead and do an Enveloping Embers. He has to let it go because he needs to stop Flaming Swords. He only has a regen on his guy, and Koopa has AP7. So I go ahead and I do Enveloping Embers. I end up wiping out half the Mongrels. I didn't charge the Mongrels because during his magic phase he gave them Spectral Blades, and I believe I called a timeout, and I was like, I don't think I should charge them because they have Spectral Blades, and Lucas was like, alright, cool, don't worry about it. But he kind of told me what else to do, which was similar to what you just saw happen. So I go ahead and I do Enveloping Embers, burn off half that unit of freaking Mongrels. But I did it with a 555. Or triple two. So it ends up killing off more of my fucking Forest Goblins. Now, I'm only there left. I am not shitting you. My BSB has taken a wound. My Shaman has taken a wound. And all I have left is just the banner of the Forest Goblin. So I have one guy left who's the standard bearer, my BSB, and my Wizard. The rest of the unit's dead. Because the fucking miscast, because the barrel, because of the impact hits and the chariot. Oh my god. Anyways, so these three guys are going to shoot into the dogs that are right there. I end up killing off 4 dogs. That dog panics and runs. I was hoping to panic the other dogs. It did not. I kind of wish I just killed that fucking dog, but I did not. Alright, over here, shooting these guys. I was like, come on, all I need is 5 hits, 5 wounds. I get 5 hits, I roll the dice, and it's like 4, 5, 5, 4, and like a 1. And I was like, God damn it, I left another dog with 1 wound left. He passes his panic check, unfortunately. Over here, the Spirit Chucker's going to shoot into the Giant's ass, does 1 wound. Over here, close combat, he ends up doing 2 wounds onto Koopa. Koopa ends up doing 1 wound to him. I'm still stubborn. We're still going to stick there. That's how it looks, alright? It's going to start off his turn. Yeah, that's how it looks. It's going to start off his turn. Beast Surge turn 3. Beast Surge turn 3, he's going to charge into Koopa's ass with the fucking Giant. Now, he did this very specifically just so he won't get nuked or shot, because I could just continue shooting this guy. So he did it just, he's going to have combat res, he's going to have a charge, and a big rear, which is 4 combat res. Again, Koopa's stubborn, but we'll see how that goes. These guys charge into the Spirit Chucker. And then over here, his dog was in the way of his guy, so he basically just rearranges like so. Magic, he gets a 3 on the Flux, goes ahead and he does Whispers of the Veil. I end up stopping this one because I can't let Koopa die, more or less. And then over here, close combat. I don't know what he did specifically. I think I got rerolls to hit off. But anyways, close combat, he ends up doing 3 more wounds onto Koopa. Koopa ends up going back, doing like another wound. And that's it for his turn. It's going to start off my turn. Orcs and Goblins turn 4. So I thought about this long and hard. This was after my fucking timeout, right? And so I couldn't call a timeout on this. And I was thinking about it. And I was like, he's only doing about a wound to 3 wounds max onto Koopa. Alright, so let's just assume, because he's stuck in the challenge. Giant can't attack him. Alright, so let's assume he does 3 wounds max. Alright? Because that's all he's really been doing. If he does 3 wounds max, I'll have with the BSB, the banner, the charge, and the flank 4 combat res, and if he kills Koopa, he'll have 3. Alright? It's not a bad trade-off. I'll win by 1, right? And the guy's not steadfast. But if he does 1 wound to Koopa, I have to worry about the fact that he has a big rear, so it'll be 4 to 4. If Koopa does a wound back to him, it'll be like a 5-4. All right. So either way, I'm gonna have I'll win, or I'll have a tie in combat, or I'll win combat in this. And my goblins should not be able to be charged or attacked because they're in a challenge. So I'm like, fuck it. So I charge the goblins in. I charge the goblins into the flank, right? I charge the damn savages into this stupid dog that got in my way because it lived. Fucking dog. And I charged the black orcs in. I'm like, fuck it. I really don't care about your guys right now. They're a lot weaker than they used to be. So I charge in. Boom, 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 boom. Alright? My goblins and my K-Pack are basically just going to shoot into the centaurs. He didn't see this till it happened. He was like, oh, shit. So they're going to get shot to shit. Alright? Magic. Got a 4 on the Flux. Go ahead and I end up doing a Scorching Salvo. Kills off one of the centaurs. And he's like, oh, shit, here it is. I'm going to shoot him. And he's like, oh, you sneaky bastards. And yes, I am using my trophy as one of the K-Pack members. So I'm shooting into his centaurs, end up killing off 4 centaurs. Last centaur lives, but he panics and runs off the table. Over here, close combat. Oh my god. I think I do a wound to him. No. This one I don't. I don't do any wounds, but he has like 3 wounds on him already. His general. Alright? He does exactly 3 wounds. So I lose Koopa. Koopa's gonna die right now. Alright? I don't kill him with Koopa. But I have a charge, a flank, banner, and a BSB. I win combat by 1. And he's like, yes! And he does the 3 wounds. He's all cheering. And he's like, alright, now these guys panic. And I go, no, I won combat. He goes, what? He's like, you didn't do any wounds to me. I go, I know. I still won combat, though. I won combat by 1. And, like, by this time, half my games are done on my team. Most of the teams are done, or games are done, right? And he's like, and so half the people are watching. His guys, my guys, everybody's just kind of watching the game. But he's like, what do you mean you won combat? I go, I won combat. I have a charge, flank, banner, BSB. And he's like, but I killed your spider. I go, I know, you did 3 wounds. I have 4. Combat res. He's like, motherfucker. So he rolls the dice, and he rolls like a 7. That was my chance. That was my chance. So then my everybody's just kind of like, they all just kind of like put their hands on their head like, you almost had it, right? So he goes to reform, which he's still down by 1 combat res. He rolls a 10. And he's like, what the fuck? My coach tells me, he goes, James, I go, man, I feel real bad about that because it was a gamble. I know it was a fucking gamble. I know I could have fucking won combat res if he didn't do 2 to 3 wounds max, right? I could have won combat res by more, plus fear, right? And he goes, James, it was a gamble, but as you saw, his reform check, he failed it. If that roll was in reverse, you would have won. You would have won. You would have had his general and nothing. There was nothing you could do about it, right? And I'm like, I know. Anyways, Black Orcs. I gotta use this older picture of the charge because there's no picture of it. Black Orcs, I charge in, and he's like, I pop my banner. I said, so do I. And he's like, what? And I go, yeah, I used my banner to turn off your Wild Horn banner. And he's like, what does that do? I go, it doesn't mean you can't use it. He goes, yes, but the rules state whoever's turn it is, you could use the banner first. And I go, no, it doesn't matter, dude. I turn it off. And he goes, yeah, but does the effect happen first, or does I turn it off? No matter what the effect is, it doesn't work when I have Mechanox Totem. And he was trying to, he tried for a little bit, like, wait, but if I got the effect off first, I was like, no, dude, it's off. It's off. You don't got a banner or Wild Horn. You can hit me with your spears. Go for it. Knock yourself out. The Black Orcs fuck up that unit. I mean, they fuck up that unit. I mean, he did kill like 5 guys or so. Black Orcs pop them, run them through. I overrun on purpose because I'm like, fuck it. And basically, that's how it looks. It's going to start off his last turn, Beast Herd's turn 4. Now, unfortunately, since it's only turn 4, this is the end of the game, more or less. We ran out of time. There was a lot of time that was spent contemplating what to do, and I get it. I totally get it, Tim. I totally get it. You don't want to fuck up on ETC. You don't want to go back to your team and say you lost because you didn't stop this or you didn't read this rule or what. But the game took a lot longer than it should have because of that, unfortunately. So we never got to turn 5 and 6. So he's going to charge his giant into my goblins. I know I'm going to lose the goblins. Unfortunately, savages are not in the best spot right here. He's going to charge into the rear of my common goblins with his shaman, and I just decide to flee because it's flag scenario. I'm not going to give him a flag. So I flee, I get away, and they end up over here, basically, and he can't catch me. The giant's going to go in. Giant's going to kill this unit. I told him not even to roll the combat. I know they're dead from just like thunder stomps. And then over here, nothing happens. I think his magic phase happened. He tried to kill my general, and I just stopped the snipe spell. That's it, you know. And that's basically the game. It would have been a big Orc and Goblin victory. It would have been like a 16 to 18 point victory if I didn't gamble my wizard bunker. Excuse me. But I did gamble my wizard bunker, but I still won. And I ended up getting a 13 on this victory. All right. I have the points rolling up soon, but I got to finish the Euron story. All right. So Lucas comes up to me, and Lucas tells me, Joseph got a 10-10. All right, so Joseph got a 10-10. That's awesome news. What ended up happening was I think their Undying Dynasty players like slept in or was sick or some shit like that. So the coach ended up taking over Joseph's game and the coach's game. Lars, they ended up deploying on opposite corners, and then after deployment, they basically were like, well, I don't have to go forward, you don't have to go forward. We can just call it a 10-10, and they just shook on it, right? Allen ended up getting a 9-point loss, so that's actually pretty good against Carl Eric. That's actually pretty good. I was actually pretty proud of Allen. Charlie was the big one. He got a big loss. Unfortunately, he only got 5 points from it, right? From Jorund. Jorund is their Orc and Goblin player, which is probably one of their best players on the team. So that was a pretty crushing blow because Charlie's one of my best players on the team. So we got Pablo lost. He got 5 points on the mirror match, which was again a crushing blow. Neil got 7, so we're like we're kind of losing, man. We got like a 9, a 5. I'm gonna add this up right in front of you guys right now. A 9, a 5, a 10, a 7 from Neil, a 5 from Pablo. Okay, so we're at 36 points with just that. Now I got a 13-point victory, which puts me at 49. And Teddy came in huge with a 19-point victory, which puts us at 68 points. All right. If Euron shook that guy's hand for a 10-10, we lose at 78 points. We lose if Euron shook that guy's hand. And coincidentally, Euron is the last game going on. Euron is the last game on our team still going. I look over on his table, and Euron is tabling that fucking vermin player. I'm like, Euron, you son of a bitch. And he's like, oh, I got lucky. He's extremely modest, by the way. Oh, I got very lucky. I did this, and he missed this, and he did this, and he's explaining it to me, and I go, Euron, don't you ever fucking come up to me and tell me to shake the guy's hand for a 10-10 again. You just got 16 points off of him, a guy you told me you were going to lose against. We ended up winning the round. Round 1, 84 points to 76. Norway, these are some of the best guys to play against. They're just awesome people. They're fun players. And this was a fun round. As you can see, the points are rolling around. I added some extra flavor in my points here. Dread's Iron Legion took 304 points. Mykonos Totem turned off the banner, and I have a scoring unit alive. Bash the Pyromaniac only got 391 points, but he died trying to kill the general. Bazooka's Commando. I don't know why I put the wrong name there, but Commando. They died because of Baxter schemes. The Foot Clan, unfortunately, were always in the wrong spot, always around chaff. Unfortunately, Foot Clan didn't get much more than 108 points. Squigs died, but they did not die good enough. The K-Pack are the true MVP of this whole game because they caused the opponent to forget his rules. Okay, they caused him to panic a whole unit off the table, kill off actually 2 Centaur units with bows and impact hits, and then cause his dogs to panic. The squad, 416 points? Are you fucking kidding me? I'm being dead serious. They got 416 points. They killed off a good chunk of dogs. They killed off Centaur units, and they shot giants. They were pulling in points, just like zack, 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 zack. And that's like the beauty of a bow unit, 20 bows against an army that doesn't have much armor. Holy shit. The Spear Chucker, unfortunately, were killed off pretty too soon. They only got 45 points for shooting the giant for 1 wound, but that's about it. Guys, I hope you guys enjoy this video. And like I said, this video is actually really fucking long. It's about 50 minutes long. But it was a hell of a game, and I'm just excited to get you guys these games out. Like I said, I hope that was good enough. If you guys have any kind of feedback about the way I do the battle reports, what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, you can always put it down in the comment section below. I'm trying to give you a little bit more information in these ETC games so you guys could understand the process of picking teams, picking matches, so stuff like that, and also understand my mentality going forward into this. yeah, that's basically it. But if you guys have any kind of feedback, is always appreciated. If you guys like my videos, hit like, share, and subscribe. And then also, if you guys would like to show further support, you could always go to my Patreon. I leave the link down below, or also my PayPal. And if for like a one-time donation, you could always go to my PayPal and put it down there. Besides that, that's PayPal. MVP was the K-Pack. That's about it. Our next opponent, actually, it was supposed to be like Team Luxembourg or was another team, I think. But then they had a point shift because somebody had points fucked up, so we ended up getting Team Australia next round. Just to give you guys a heads up, Team Australia was a team that we played in practice on Universal Battle. We ended up getting smoked by them. I think we got a total of like 10 points on one of them, but we didn't finish all our games. But we still got we pretty much got smoked. So this is going to be a very interesting round 2. It's actually a fun round 2, and we'll get there when we get there next time. Hopefully tomorrow or the weekend. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoy this. I enjoyed making it. Till next time, when I give you more ChiHammer content. Peace.